Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. My name is Siti
Salam.
Mariam binti Aladdin. I'm your forum moderator for today. So today we are going to discuss what are the implications of having or not having vernacular schools. Okay. So what is vernacular schools? So vernacular schools are schools that use languages other than Bahasa Melayu and English as the main medium of instruction and have been around since colonial times. So this one is actually during the British colonial era. Okay. Okay. So during the British colonial era, there are five types of vernacular school. The Malay vernacular school, which was founded in 19th century. Main purpose is to ensure the Malay children to continue to remain in the villages and inherit the family's poverty. And then we have the Chinese vernacular school, also founded in 19th century. They place importance in education while maintaining racial culture and identity of the Chinese community. And then we have the Tamil vernacular school, founded in 19th century. They are built at the rubber plantations. And then they have the English vernacular schools, modeled after the grammar schools of Great Britain, to produce low-level administrative officers, and they are only for the elite families. And then the last is the Islamic vernacular school. They focus on teaching of Al-Quran and the basic knowledge of reading, writing, and counting. Okay, so the vernacular schools that we have today, there are three types. The national school, Bahasa Malaysia as the medium of instruction. The education system and policy is governed by the Ministry of Education of Malaysia. While the Chinese vernacular schools, Bahasa Cina or Mandarin as the medium of instruction. The secondary schools of Chinese vernacular schools are independent schools built by the Chinese community. However, the certificates are not recognized by the Ministry of Education and they are not able to attend public universities in Malaysia, but they can attend private universities. And then we have the Tamil vernacular schools, Tamil as the medium of instruction. There are no Tamil secondary school. Okay, what I would like to add here is uh, the British ran the policy of divide and conquer in Malaya. As a result, they continued to let the Malay remain in the villages, and the Chinese and Indians were brought in to help run the country. The Chinese were placed in the city because they are assisting the economy that was under the British observation, while the Indians were left to the plantations because these three ethnicities uh, were not in their plan to actually run it. The British did not plan to run them as a proper community living together as three races. So they just left these three ethnicity to run in their own direction. There was no purpose. The only purpose was to uh, give rise to the British legacy and economy. Okay, so these are the introductions. I have five teachers with me here today. Okay. So I have teacher Navina, teacher Akira, teacher Archana, teacher Monisa, and teacher Adam. So I would like to ask you guys, there are implications or what do you see implications of having or not having vernacular schools in Malaysia today? Can you give me your input on this? Mr. Teacher Adam, can you give me your input on this?
Yeah, sure. Good day to everyone. Okay. First of all, the country's education system has not been decolonized. For instance, parents from each of the three major ethnic groups, Chinese, Indian, Malay, prefer to send their children to vernacular schools where their individual languages and cultures are taught. We all know this. Research suggests that Malaysians are unlikely to make friends outside their own ethnic groups at schools due to the ongoing segregation of different ethnic communities at educational institutes. This lack of diversity denies young Malaysians the opportunity to develop interethnic friendships. it creates metaphorical barriers between ethnic groups. In this way, existing political, economic, and social inequalities among the diverse ethnic groups in the country have found their way into the country's education system. In Malaysia, politicians rely on ethnic voters for support and have never pushed to stop these cultural boundaries penetrating the education system. A recent study entitled Ethnic Boundary Among Students in Malaysia Primary Schools and Social Interaction, a conceptual framework found that the existence of ethnic boundaries via vernacular schools has enhanced stereotypes in Malaysia and fueled racial biases in the country. The education system that divides the students according to their mother tongue and ethnic difference is a less effective means of cultivating integration and mutual understanding among students. The country's political elite doesn't appear to be worried about the issue as politicking continues to dominate the debate. The segregated education system in Malaysia has become one of the causes of ethnic polarization in the country. To foster greater ethnic integration, it is vital that the Malaysian education system is desegregated as soon as possible. Thank you. That's my view.
That's very interesting, Teacher Adam, because this is where the media will utilize the segregation of the minorities races in the country. Okay, does anyone have any other view regarding the implications of vernacular schools? About Teacher Kira?
Yeah, can I? May
Yeah.
I? Okay,
Yes.
first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Teacher Nora Kira. I'm actually a full-time tutor with my own tuition center, more than 10 years already. And I'm giving an opinion, an honest opinion based on my experience as a teacher. Um, See now, I have a plenty of students coming from different background, different types of school. I have SJKC, SJKT as well, international school. I don't know if you heard, it's at Tembi International School. So uh, I'm answering regarding do vernacular school destroy multicultural education in Malaysia? I'm sorry, but I disagree with it. Because I have a plenty school student coming from the different background education and languages as well. So I think it is good actually because these types of school, these types of vernacular school, they actually teaching our students to learn multi languages. So I give an example. I have a student that's coming from an international school. They able to speak in Tamil, in Bahasa Melayu, and in definitely in English. So their tongue are very comfortable talking with multi-language. So it is actually a good benefit for our future. You can't deny what I said because I don't know for this current issue, some of the company right now are taking uh, any workers that have more than 2 or 3 languages, and they willing to pay higher salary just they can able to have a good staff that able to speak in Mandarin maybe. So this is actually good for their future. So they have, if you have a languages, the multi languages, you can learn multi languages, and at the same time I believe they can mingle a lot among themselves because language is not a barrier. Okay, I have a class that have a multi languages. I have Tamil and Indian at the same class, sorry, Tamil and Chinese in the same class, and they actually talk nicely, they can mingle good. So this is actually a good example um, for vernacular school. So I disagree for the statement that vernacular school destroy the multicultural education. Because if we take a look of a good side of these vernacular schools, I believe we can make a really good environment, and at the same time we can teach them to be nice to each other, and it's starting from a young age to older age, but in bahasa Melayu we call merentur buluh belah dari rebungnya, which is you have to teach your students from a young age to be good. At the same time, they learn multi languages in school, they have fun, and most importantly, for me, being a teacher, to be able to have a student who really good to themselves and to other person, regards their um, color skins, regards of their languages, they can be nice to others. I, I believe that we can make our future better with them. So that's my opinion. That's why I said I disagree with multicultural education in Malaysia. Vernacular school destroy multicultural education in Malaysia. I disagree on it. So that's my opinion.
Thank you, Kira. That's a beautiful speech. Okay, I,
Mhm.
I, I know already my luck for today. Okay, Monisa, can I hear your input on this?
Okay, so rationally, if we Malaysian would like to minimize the cultural gap, yes, I support the idea of unified school when students from different races are mixed, accept each other, and believe that we Malaysians are one. So, like, we might quarrel and fight as kids, but we will grown up perceiving that no matter how different we are one unit. Responsible for each other. So I believe that this approach, of course, requires well-planned solutions and might start controversially. Okay, so and also I believe that both Chinese and Tamil schools there is nothing much difference between these schools because the subjects are all almost similar. So I don't see any significant purpose other than pursuing comfortability being among one race in these vernacular schools. Okay, so the difference should be taught as one special subject instead of building one special school. So this is my opinion. So
Thank,
thank you.
thank you, Monisa. What about you, Navina? What is your take on this?
Okay, good day to all teachers. I'm teacher Navina and I'm a preschool teacher in Penang. And I believe that vernacular schools do not destroy multicultural education because I feel multicultural education begins in vernacular schools. You also have other races joining schools, like such as in Chinese schools, you even have Indian students, Malay students joining Chinese schools. So I feel that multicultural education is not destroyed. They can still mingle with other races. They even have subjects such as Pendidikan Moral, Pendidikan Civic, which teaches them the other cultural ethics about in Malaysia. And I feel the implications of having vernacular schools are much better because they can learn more about their own culture when they have vernacular schools compared to not having. Yeah, I feel that's my point so far.
Okay, thank you, Navina. What about you, Archana?
Thank you, Teacher Mariam. I'm Archana from SK Gomba. Um, as what Navina said, I believe that vernacular schools are not destroying multicultural education because, for example, I'm coming from vernacular school as well. So I guess knowing extra language has helped me build my career. I can also teach in multi languages, and I can also help students from SK school and from SJKT schools. I guess that students who learn using their mother tongue understands the subject more clearer compared to students who don't coming from their own language. For example, I have Indian students as well who studying in SK schools, but they do struggle when they get back home. When I give them homework, they can't understand. But when I teach them, when I give a one-to-one session with them in my own language, sometimes they tend to understand deeply. And parents do they teach in their own language at house because they feel easy to communicate with their kids using their own language instead of speaking different language. But I do motivate the parents to use multi-language teaching as well. I do promote my students to use English and Bahasa Malaysia, but I still don't see any implications of having vernacular schools because it promotes unity as well as it it don't drawn away the culture from the students. They understand their culture. They nurture the culture from since childhood. And also when they move forward to sekolah menengah kebangsaan, I'm sure that they will mingle around and they will get to know different races and their multicultural friends. They would mingle around as how we grown up in sekolah menengah. That's what I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Arshana. It's interesting on your input about the students that could not actually catch up with their own with another language and had to be teach into another language so that they understand. I think that's the same happened with Malay students who couldn't catch up with English language. So that we have to talk to them in Malay to translate the word back to them so that they understand what we are trying to say, and then teach back them in English in order for them to understand better.
Yeah,
But then I also think that maybe this issue of vernacular schools are all media hype, isn't it? Because basically the people are okay with it. The segregation is not coming from the people, isn't it? From what I see. So maybe
Yeah.
what we need is, if we are seeing it into, because there are two sides of coins here, we are seeing the national language and the ethnicity language, both are important actually. So maybe it should not be a reason for having racial dispute because of a language. So maybe BM will always be the national language, that one we will never change. But perhaps if the government or the Ministry of Education will try to include all this language in our national school, perhaps it will be better for the future generation. What do you think?
I agree, but somehow, of course, we can't change the government thinking, and we can't do much about it since
So
it's just a normal
it's a
teacher.
wishful thinking lah, this one.
Yeah, correct, correct. I would say like that, but like I said previously, menentu bulu biarlah dari rebung. No, we can't change the government, but we can change our kids' mindset for future, for better future. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
I also partly agree with teachers Adam view about the segregation, but I think it comes, it actually I think it comes from uh it's already pre-planned. I think this segregation, it started from the British colonization, and we just had to follow, and there's no changes there, and then some people took over and they taken advantage of that segregation and move along with it, and that's how we are today. So hopefully we can change that. Okay, thank you guys. So I
Thank
will end
you.
this here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day, everyone.
Aya, have a good
Thank
day,
you.
everyone.
Okay.